Hello, Rambo here of Rambo and Joan Vlog and welcome sa Bedroom Interviews Episode 4.
Hello and welcome to Bedroom Interview.
You guys come up with really excellent questions, by the way. you really do. I like it a lot.
Work hard talaga, nagkamali ka, then inaayos mo ulit. Ang saya.
Joan is somewhere. Wala siya ngayon sa episode na to. We are happy para kay Joan kasi siya ay busy. Siya ay naghahanap buhay. Siya ay nag-aaral ng libro. Siya ay busy sa maraming bagay para sa ikaunlad ng kanyang personalidad, sa ikaunlad ng kanyang pagiging asawa, sa ikaunlad ng kanyang espiritualidad. Anyway, ang episode na to ay napaka-importante para sa ating lahat. Sapagkat, pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay pera. Yung episode na to ay recorded mula sa webinar na ginawa namin kagabi. It's too good not to share with you. I asked the permission mula doon sa aming guest. Our guest para sa episode na to ay isang journalist and TV host mula sa ABS-CBN News Channel On The Money, si Salve Duplito. Si Ma'am Salve ay meron ding YouTube channel na merong 8,000 plus subscribers kung saan she talks about pera, finances, savings, investments, and anything na pwedeng makatulong sa atin din kung paano maiwasan ng mga scams. Kung interested ka rin sa cryptocurrencies, ayan ang latest niya na episode. So check her out, Salve Says. And without further ado, let's now start our episode for today. Episode 4 with Ma'am Salve. Cheers!
Thank you so much for inviting me today. Sobrang sarap ng pakiramdam at napakaganda ng opportunity na ito talaga. Kahit anong klaseng trabaho natin, saan man parte tayo ng Pilipinas, ano man yung ating relihiyon or sino man ang sinusunod natin, we all believe as a human family nga ang tawag doon diba? The entire human family. And so much more that no other success can compensate for failure in the home. Of course, the wording failure in the home medyo harsh, and minsan it's painful for many of us who believe that, we're not perfect at marami pa tayong pwedeng gawin para maiwasan natin yung pagkakaroon ng failure in the home. But I do not, kung may mga away, kung may mga paghihirap sa loob ng bahay, I do not really call these failures even when it comes to money. Yung iba sa atin naghihirap, yung iba sa atin medyo okay. Hindi ibig sabihin pag wala tayong makain or wala tayong pang tuition, it's already a failure. It's not. Feeling ko, matatawag lang nating failure in the home pag nag-stop na tayo mag-try to have a successful family life. Parang gusto ko ngang dagdagan yung sinabi mo kanina na mga suggestions kung paano magkaroon ng family challenge, family ideas, to strengthen the family. So yung suggestion ko as a financial advisor, I know you know that I do dream boards for a lot of people. Isa sa mga ginagawa namin actually for our premium clients is to help them create a family dream board. Ang gagawin lang natin, siguro isang kartulina, pa-drawing natin sa lahat ng miyembro ng pamilya. Ano ba yung mga gusto nila magkaroon? Maybe in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, in 40, pag nag-retire na si nanay at si tatay, ano ba yung gusto natin ma-enjoy that will bring us a life that gives us joy? And we will realize na of course gusto natin yung we're all together, walang conflict, lahat healthy. Those things might or may not require money, but we also have to start thinking about gusto ba natin ng by the time magre-retire na si nanay tsaka si tatay, may negosyo ba sila? Or may negosyo ba tayong pamilya? Anong klaseng negosyo ba yun? May retirement fund na po sila para hindi sila kakabahan na mauubusan ng pera or magpapabigat sa kanilang mga anak. So yun po, ginagawa namin, dinodrawing namin yan sa kartulina or sa illustration board. And we make it look as fun as possible. So merong mga colorful markers kung gusto niyo mag-cut out, 'di ba, ng pictures, like gusto natin mag-travel si buong family every week. Minsan local travel, bibisita tayo sa probinsya, or mag-international travel tayo at least once a year or every other year. Or gusto natin ng maayos na bahay. Gusto natin ng nakapag-college yung mga bunso. Yung mga ganon. Lahat po yan, pinapadrawing namin. Tapos yung proseso na yon makes the process of planning financially for the future as a family more powerful. Kasi magkakabistuhan tayo. Ito pala si daddy o kaya si tatay, gusto niya pa palang mag-aral. Gusto niya palang magkaroon ng second career. Or si mommy pala, gusto pala matuto mag-bake. So sometimes kasi hindi natin to sasabi sa isa't isa. That's why, yung as a family, kung nakikimkim natin yun, medyo sasama ang loob natin pag hindi napopondohan yan. But this dream board session allows all of the members of the family to be aware of the deepest dreams and desires of everybody in the family, and together, tulungan tayo. Okay, gusto palang pumunta ng a nice tourist spot na gusto palang bisitahin. O ayun, pag nagkabistuhan na, sabay-sabay tayo mag-iipon. Sabay-sabay tayong gagawa ng extra income ng Sabado. Kunwari, okay, Sabado ngayon para makapag-ipon tayo ng extra. Magluto tayo lahat ng leche flan. Okay, si nanay magluluto, si ate magbebenta, si kuya magpa-packaging, ganyan. You know what? This all creates so much value and a lot of patience within the family. We all get to know each other deeper at na-fulfill natin yung deepest desires ng bawat member of the family. So, this is just one way kasi ang pera usually nakaka-stress. Sa totoo lang, hindi naman kailangan. It doesn't have to be that way. So today, yun yung suggestion ko, have a dream board session. And if together we all help each other achieve those dreams, our family will be very, very much stronger because of it. So today, in the next 20 minutes, I'll be sharing with you some of the things na natutunan ko in the last 25 years. 25 years ko na po itong ginagawa. So medyo matanda na po si sister. Pero gusto ko po talaga na sana lahat ng matutunan ko, ma-absorb ninyo yung isi-share ko ngayon because all of these things have helped me. It has helped me create a family of my own, nurture four children, 4 po yung aking anak. Lahat sila may iba-ibang personality at iba-ibang pangangailangan. I wouldn't say we're a perfect family. We are still a work in progress. Even when it comes to money, we still have a lot of other financial goals na pinupunuan pa namin. But the principles that I will share with you today have helped us. Pwede po ba akong mag-share ng a couple of slides? One moment, ha? Ayan. So, these are simple steps to happy money. Yan ang tawag ko sa kanya. Kasi ayoko nga nasistress kayo pag nag-iisip tungkol sa pera. Pera is empowering and powerful and beautiful, especially because I know money can be used in beautiful ways. So, lagi kong sinasabi, wala namang gustong magbilang ng pera kasi nga nakaka-stress, lalo na pag kulang, tama ba? Ako po, laking hirap ako, kaya alam ko yung pinagdaraanan ng marami sa atin. Pinanganak po akong may lupa po kami pero wala po kaming pera. So pahirapan po yung pagpunta ng school. Walang gustong magbilang ng pera pero lahat tayo gusto natin yumaman. 'Di ba? So ano pong nangyayari every time sumusweldo tayo ng malaki, feeling mayaman tayo, tapos pag kulang na yung pera, feeling mahirap. And in both times, whether meron tayong kitang malaki or whether tayo kumikita ng maliit, paano na yun? Kung hindi natin alam saan napupunta yung pera natin, saan napunta in the past, all the more hindi natin madidirect kung saan yun dapat pumunta in the future. Yun yung problem. So, we need to know a little bit more of the financial instruments and the financial strategies para madirect natin kung saan dapat pumunta yung pera. So, the first principle that I would like you to remember is tracking your money will not make you rich. Hindi po talaga yun yung, alam mo yung, kailangan daw po kasi mag-budget So, kailangan po natin ilista kung ano yung mga ginastusan natin. Kaso, tapos na yun. Nagastos na natin. Kung tsaka pa lang tayo magre-react dun sa ginastos natin, hindi rin po tayo matutulungan kasi nagastos na. So, ano yung dapat? Ang sabi ko po, junk the budget, but make a spending plan. Okay? So, useless para sa akin yung hindsight. Kailangan foresight. Diba? How do you do that? Unang-una, list down your sources of cash. Minsan, nasa na yung mga yung kinita natin, saan natin ginastos. Pero hindi natin nililista kung ano exactly yung kinita natin. So, number 1, lahat po ng kinikita natin dapat ililista natin. Kunwari, may sweldo. Si Bercy nakapag-buy and sell ng siopaw nung Sabado, di ba? So, sa pagbabuy and sell ni Bercy, kung hindi nakatutak sa isip na kailangan ko ilista yung sources of cash, kunwari kumita si Percy ng 500 pesos, tapos on his way home, naku nabudol. Bumili din ng iba-ibang bagay na hindi niya naman kailangan. Parang gusto lang ng pasalubong, di ba? As parents, mahilig tayo magpasalubong. Minsan yun talaga yung ultimate budol sa atin. So, nakalimutan niya na dapat yung 500 pesos na kinita niya dun sa pagbabay and sell na ng siopaw, pwede na sana yung ipunin. But instead, kinain. Diba? So, again, number 1, ang unang-una nating isipin, lista lahat ng kinita. Tapos, bago tayo mag-isip nung pagmo-monitor ng spending, pag nalista na natin yon, may better understanding na tayo kung ano yung kinikita talaga natin per month. Minsan kasi iniisip natin yung salary lang yon. Baka may mga hidden sources of wealth tayo, hindi lang natin napapansin. So ngayon, alam na natin, kunwari, sabihin natin, 10,000 para madaling i-compute. 10,000 pala talaga yung kinikita natin kada linggo. Sabihin natin kada linggo. Ang susunod natin gagawin, mag-limit tayo ng each spending category. For example, pagkain. Kung 10,000 kada linggo, iilan lang naman tayo, tsaka nagpapapayat si mami, gawin natin 2,000 pagkain. Tapos yung 1,000 kuryente, yung 1,000 ganon. Hindi ko na po alam, depende na po sa inyo yun kung anong mga numero. Pero paplanuhin po natin yung spending plan natin. Ito po yung totoong ibig sabihin ng budget. May limit bawat spending category. Para foresight, hindi hindsight. Ang pangatlo, every Saturday, again, as a family, magta-track na tayo. Okay, sa 2,000, nakagastos tayo ng ganito. Below siya. Kung lagpas, sa next week, tsaka tayo mag-a-adjust pababa. So, kunwari, sa isang buwan, 40,000 ang kita. Tapos, 8,000 dun sa 40,000 pagkain. Every week, tinatrack natin kahit 30 minutes lang. Hindi kailangan mahaba yung oras. Okay, this week, naka-1,000 tayo. Meron pang konti. Pwede tayo magdagdag ng gastos sa pagkain next week. Pero kung lumagpas, ayan, medyo kangkong na muna tayo ngayong linggo. Diba? In this way, by the end of the month, na-direct natin yung source of cash natin sa mga tamang bagay. Hindi tayo mawawala ng disiplina because nakaka-track tayo every Saturday and we are accountable to each member of the family. Huwag nating sosolohin. Mas maganda pag nagtatrack tayo ng isa't isa. Pero pag hindi po nakasunod, huwag naman tayong magalit. Mas masaya, mas madali sumunod. So, kunwari, hala, si Daddy nabudol. O, diba, next week, medyo i-remind natin si Daddy. O, babawasan natin this week yung budget sa, ano ba usually ang ginagastosan ni Daddy? Sa computer, sa kuryente, kasi medyo lumagpas tayo the past week. Ayan, so usually, meron tayong cash flow. Ito yung personal expenses. So, ginagawa na natin yung mga category limits, tapos every Saturday, tatrack natin kung lalagpas tayo o hindi. Ang ginawa po natin dito, kung ano yung ginagawa usually sa mga negosyo, we created a way for families to do this as well. Ayan. So, kayo po ba, meron na po ba kayong ganitong narinig in the past? Nagawa na po ba? Or hindi pa? Or narinig na natin pero tinatamad lang tayong gawin? Kasi out of 10 Filipino families, iisa lang po ang may ganito. Do this more often. It will really create for us a life that gives us joy. Ayan. So, yung next, ayan, ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina, konting review. If you had gone over the ceiling, adjust your spending the coming week para hindi tayo lalagpas dun sa monthly ceiling. Tapos, keep the Saturday light and happy. Wala pong blaming pagka lumagpas. Ayan. Tapos, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng stress and fights pagdating sa pera. Okay, paano po natin gagawin yung tungkol sa annual tuition? Isa po yun sa mga source of stress, ang pagbabayad sa tuition. Kasi pag wala po tayong pambayad sa tuition, mangungutang tayo. Pag nangutang tayo, meron po yung mga kasamang baggages, maraming kasamang sumbatan and all of those things. So, this is one of the things that you can do para hindi kayo mahirapan. Kunwari, yung annual tuition natin 150,000. Kunwari, ako po, sa Ateneo, 150,000 yung tuition. Okay. So, ang ginagawa ko, 150,000 divided by 12. Magiging 12,500. Ngayon, ang ibig sabihin po nito, 12,500 dapat itabi ko kada buwan. Para pagdating ng after 12 months, meron na po akong pang tuition. Ibig sabihin, 6,250 every payday kung kinsenas yung gastos. So, dinadagdag po yan sa spending plan. Tapos, hinihiwalay ko yan in a separate account na pang tuition lamang. So, pagka every month, automatic na po siyang nagtatransfer galing dun sa mommy account, papunta dun sa little baby accounts for different needs. Kaya po, pagdating ng tuition payments, hindi po ako kumukunot ng noo kasi nakaprepare na siya 12 months before. This can work for all other goals. For tuition, for car maintenance, mortgage sa bahay, health, emergency funds, kung nagbi-build pa lang tayo ng emergency funds, health funds, yaan po, pwede po yung gawin. Na dinidivide natin yung annual cost into monthly cost, into weekly cost, into daily cost sometimes para mas madali siyang makaipon. Then we add this to our budget as priority. Pag ginawa po natin yan, dinadagdag natin sa mga budget natin, nare-realize natin na, ay, totoo pala, wala pa pala akong budget para sa bagong cellphone. Kasi nakikita po natin kung ano yung mga totoong dapat natin pagkagastusan muna. Kasi po pag sinabi sa atin, magtipid, ang sakit eh. Pero pag naisip natin, oo nga no, medyo nagtitipid ako ngayon, pero pagbayaran ng tuition, di na ako mangungutang. So it makes the planning a lot easier. Sabi ko nga, the smartest spenders don't do anything to budget. They automate their savings. So, tuturuan ko kayo ng style. Minsan, mahirap kasi, makakalimutin tayo sa oras, sa panahon. We're very busy. So, transferring money for our future goals, mahirap. So, ang ginagawa ko po, siniset up ko na siya sa bangko. Alam niyo yun, kahit sa GCash may ganun eh. Yung automatic transfer. So, doon sa, kunwari, si Rambo, meron siyang racket. Tapos yung racket niya, nagbibigay ng 1 million kada buwan doon sa isang account niya. Diba? Let's claim it. Diba? 1 million nandun. Ang gagawin niya, yung bangko na mismo ang magta-transfer. Okay, 10,000 para sa tuition, 10,000 para sa retirement, 10,000 para sa medical expenses in case may magkasakit. Automatic yun. So kahit na makalimutan, kahit na tamarin siya, kahit na mabisi siya sa trabaho, yung naka-automate, yun na mismo yung nag-iipon para sa kanya. Okay, di ba? Kasi hindi na tayo mahirapan eh, na-automate na natin siya. Yun po yung smart, wise na move. Okay, paano naman para dun sa mga tao na hindi ako komportable sa bangko? Tsaka, malayo sa amin. So, paano kung mag-iipon? Wala naman akong system na ganyan. Ay, pwede po kahit envelope. Kahit nga recycled envelope ng tubig, kuryente, yung mga bills ninyo, gawin nyo recycled. Nung nagsisimula po ako, yan din ang ginagawa ko eh. Nire-recycle ko yung envelope tapos nilalagyan ko. Ito yung pang tuition. Ito yung ganito. Envelope system. Pareho lang nung sinabi ko dun sa bangko, tatabi mo na paunti-unti yung kailangan mo 12 months from now. So, by the time you need it, kunwari, manganganak. Okay, sabi sa akin ng mga tao, naku, paano yan? Kailangan ko mangutang kasi may emergency ako, manganganak na si sister. Guys, emergency po ba yung panganganak? Sabihin nyo sa tango kung yes or ganito kung hindi. Emergency po ba yung panganganak? Hindi, kasi 9 months before, alam natin na papasok ng ospital si sister, di ba? So, you have 9 months to prepare for it. It's not an emergency. We can actually, way before, lalo na dun sa kakapakasal lang, you don't spend all your money on the wedding because there's life after the wedding. So you keep your wedding expenses very simple and then start saving already for the first baby, your first car, your first house, ganyan. Kung hindi po kaya yung automation sa bangko, pwede naman pong envelope system. When it comes to family wellness, family financial wellness, and being close to each other, don't forget there are two sides to the equation, income at saka expenses. Minsan po, hindi talaga kaya ng kita yung expenses ng mga tao kahit na tipid na. That's why we have to think about doing extra hustle. Tayo naman mga Pinoy, sanay tayo maging raketero tsaka raketera, di ba? Actually, ang tinuturo natin, create multiple sources of income. So kung meron kang Monday to Friday na trabaho, gumising ng maaga ng Sabado, magluto, magbenta ng Sabado at that additional income, whether it's 100, 200, 500, or 1,000, can add to your goals. Imagine nyo po, sa isang Saturday na kumita ka ng 1,000, that's 4,000 per month. And that is 32,000. So marami po tayong pwedeng gawin para mas marami tayong maiipon. Pero maganda if we do it as a family. Pero aside from that, ito din po ang natutunan ko talaga. Ang tawag po dito, pay yourself first. So yung pay yourself first, karamihan po ng mga tao, pag pumasok yung sweldo natin, gagastos tayo. Tapos ang sasabihin natin, pag may natira, iipunin. Income minus expenses equals savings. Lagi nating sinasabi to. Hindi naman siya nag-work. Kasi pag ginastos na natin lahat, magkano yung natira? Minsan negative kasi nakautang pa. Di ba? Tama. Pero kadalasan zero. Di ba? That's why, ang dapat talagang ginagawa ay income minus savings equals expenses. Tabi na muna. Para sa atin, dapat ganito. Set aside for savings at yung natira, yun yung pagkakasyahin natin para sa ating mga gastusin. So, anong gagawin natin dun sa naitatabi natin regularly? Alam nga namang nakatayo lang yun. Baka naman iniwan lang ni Joanne dun sa wallet niya. O, edi pagtanda niya, ang taba na ng wallet niya. Pero yun pa rin ang laman, di ba? Anong gagawin natin? We have to do this. Right now, if you have work, you are man actively working for money. Money tuloy. You are man actively working for money. And that means you pay a lot of taxes. That's 35 pesos of every 100 for people who are earning 800,000 per year. But you have to have money working for you. Diba? Kaya parang nag-create ka ng marami, na isang army. Pag nakapag-ipon ka, and then you invest it, your investments will now work for you. So now you are actively working for money, but your money is also growing your money for you. In the investments part, the passive income, you are paying only 10 pesos for every 100 in taxes. Kaya po alam niyo po ba, yung mga kaibigan kong bilyonaryo, hindi po sila humihingi ng salary sa kanilang mga kumpanya. Professional fees lang po yan or kaya dividends. Kasi yung salary, that's taxed 35%. Pero yung dividends or passive income, 10 out of every 100 lang. Sige, mamaya po magko-Q&A tayo in a little while. Konting slides na lang po ito. So, ako po, I've been watching the markets, investing for 25 years already. I will tell you, I've also lost a lot of money in the market. But I've gained more. Kasi habang nag-aaral tayo, from time to time, you really will get things wrong. There are times when, talagang ganun talaga. That's parang tuition natin yun, di ba? Sa pag-aaral. But that's okay. Kasi, over time, it will make us stronger, everything that we're learning, so long as we're trying to earn money with the right objectives para makatulong sa ibang tao, I believe na tuloy-tuloy yung pagkita natin. Ito po nanay ko. Nanay ko po yan, ako po yung maliit. So just to show you a little bit of what I went through, I was born in Bicol to a mother who raised me as a single mother. Sobrang hirap po ng buhay namin nun. Sobrang hirap po. Kaya po siguro hindi ako tumangkad, puro po sama ng loob yung kinakain ko. Ayan. Yung sister ko po, kinukwento ko nga dun sa isang stream na sa Bicol, when my dad and my mom separated, yung ate ko, sometimes we wouldn't see our parents for one whole week. Lahat kami magkakapatid. We just look out for each other. Pero hindi po masama loob namin sa nanay ko kasi I knew she was really trying her best. Ano po siya, school teacher. Minsan, I knew she would try to go back. Nasa Legazpi po kasi kami nakatira. Tapos, yung mga lupain nila nandun sa Kamalig or sa Dunsol, Sorsogon, medyo malayo. And there were times talaga that we wouldn't see her because she'd be looking for money para so that we could eat, no? And I remember my sister Charity. Sana hindi siya nakikinig. Kinuwento ko na naman siya. Nasa Facebook nga pala to. She told me of one time when she was only 5 years old. Imagine nyo yun, 5 years old. Because she knew wala kaming kakainin. Sumakay siya ng bus mag-isa to look for my mom in Sorsogon. And to go to our barangay where my mom and yung dad ko kasi nandun pa. So she knew my mom probably went to my dad to get support for us. Para makapunta from Legazpi to Buena Vista where my dad lived, you had to ride a bus ng napakatagal and then sasakay ka ng bangka kasi walang diretsong road going there. And nung nagkukwentuhan kami ng ate ko, sabi ko sa kanya, hindi ko ma-imagine na 5 years old ka lang, sumakay ka ng walang pamasahe. Tapos, sabi daw nung mga nakasakay doon sa bus, dito ka na lang, maupo ka na lang sa akin kasi alam namin wala kang pamasahe. Sumakay siya sa bus, sumakay siya sa lancha, mag-isa niya, and then, inuwi niya na nanay ko. And she told her that it's okay, we'll survive. Marami po kaming stories na ganun. That's why, as a result of our hardships, my family and I were really, really close. Until now, kahit na yung sister ko may kanya-kanya na kaming pamilya, yung bunso namin nasa Air Force, yung ate ko nandyan sa Taguig, yung isa nasa New Zealand, yung isa nasa Canada, yung isa nasa UK, we always talk to each other. And I think that is a lesson in itself, na hardships does not have to mean weakness as a family unit. Alam ko na pag hirap ang buhay, minsan, maiksi ang pasensya. Nahirapan tayo, mabilis uminit ang ulo. But to make our family stronger, we have to keep our hearts closer to each other so that none of those hardships will make us weaker. The most important thing in our lives is not the income or the family. Kahit yun lagi ang tinuturo ko, money is never the most important thing. Although knowing how to handle money allows us to do the important things in our lives. No? I'll share with you also another story of Nanay Lorna. She's turon vendor lang to. Pero dahil sa paghihikahos niya, yung pagod na dinaanan niya, single mother, namatay din yung asawa niya. And then she had her 4 children. Grabe talaga. She's very amazing. Ano to? Picture to nung nag-guest siya sa On The Money on TV. All 4 of her children are professionals. And the same story, financial hardships did not weaken their family. Ito naman, is a picture that we took when I was in Basilan. Kung saan-saan po ako nakakarating. There, as far away as Basilan, merong mga nanonood ng On the Money. And they tell me talaga na yung financial values na tinuturo natin nakakarating sa iba't ibang lugar. Ito naman, youngest investor na nakilala ko in Singapore. Sa ganitong edad, nag-i-invest na po yan sa stock market. Yes. Ito naman is all of these ladies ay mga household service workers, tawag sa kanila. We don't call them katulong, no? They're household service workers who work in the United Arab Emirates. Nagpaturo po sila sa akin. Itong tinuturo ko sa inyo, tinuro ko rin sa kanila. Because alam na po natin ang situation sa kanila, yung mga anak po nila, mga naka-iPhone, sila po, bulok yung telepono. So, lahat ng kinikita nila, pinapadala nila, and because of their guilt, which is what they told me, parang ganun yung nangyayari, nasuspoil nila yung mga bata. And this is why I said, even when the parents are away, you can still do a family home evening talking about the things about money that will strengthen the whole family. It's a great way to be together. Ito po yung nagsalita po ako sa isang event. Siya po ay high school student na gusto rin magpaturo tungkol sa pera. Ayan. So this is what I told you earlier. Money is never the most important thing, but it does allow us to do the things that are most important. Ano yun sa atin? That's number 1 is to our faith. Number 2, our families. Number 3, to serve. And number 4, to help our country move forward. Maraming salamat po. Sana hindi kayo natulog sa aking pag-share. Thank you. Maraming salamat po. If possible po, the only thing I would like to ask of you is this. In my YouTube channel, if you go there, marami po kayong makikitang content. Yung iba doon tungkol sa how to get out of debt. Yung iba, how to invest in the stock market. Yung iba, tungkol sa mga iba-ibang investments, anong stocks yung maganda, ano yung hindi. Yung iba po tungkol sa scams. So we are part po ng advocacy natin yun. I hope that you can subscribe because the more subscribers allows us to reach more people. Alam nyo naman po yan. Kung hindi po kayo ma-YouTube, you can also follow Facebook. Same lang, Salvesis. Pwede din po kayo mag-Instagram because there, sa YouTube, we have a free live show every Saturday. Marami pong experts akong ini-interview doon. At kami-kami din, pinag-uusapan namin yung mga prinsipyo that can help all Filipinos be wealthier. On Facebook and IG and Twitter naman, meron tayong mga micro-learning capsules. So every day, meron kaming nilalabas na short tips na mas madali i-absorb. So I would be very grateful if you can find time to go to my YouTube channel, Facebook, IG, Twitter, or kung nagsistream kayo on Kumu, we're also there. We're on TikTok as well. Pero hindi nyo po ako makikitang sumasayaw doon. Nakakahiya po. Alright, thank you so much po kung sana you can help us with our advocacy to tell everybody that, I'd be very, very grateful for that. Salamat!
Salamat po ng marami. Kung kaya nyo mag-unmute, pwede ba nating palakpakan si Sister Sam?
Salamat po. Thank you so much.
Tutungo muna tayo ngayon sa ating question and answers. I have here some notes na gusto kong i-share, mga things that I've learned, and a few questions din that came into my mind that probably question din ng iba, pero baka mahihain sila na hindi sila magtanong. Number 1, gustong-gusto ko yung envelope system. Hanggang ngayon, kahit may automated system, meron pa ring envelope kasi sa tingin ko, it's the habit of it. Yun yung pinaka-importante. And the whole time, nagre-ring sa akin yung vitamin D. The whole time na nagsasalita kayo, vitamin D is, ibig sabihin nun, yung discipline. Yun yung number 1 namin na kailangan. Now, ma'am, nabanggit nyo kanina na mahalaga na every member ng family, including kids, ay aware sila sa finances ng family natin. Now, I have a question for you po. I know na meron kayong mga anak and they were once kids, like children,
yes.
At malilitang attention span nila. Sa mga parents po dito, siguro question din nila ito, okay, ngayon isama ko na yung mga anak ko. Pero ang question siguro sa inyo po, how did you manage to involve yung mga kids sa pagdating sa mga money matters na parang hindi naman sila interested dito in general?
Si Seth, really interested on finance. Yung bunso ko, si Blue, grabe, economics, banking yung gusto nun. Yung pangatlo, mahilig din sa economics. Yung panganay ko, actually, walang pakialam sa pera. So, what do? I don't really lecture much, pero mas learning by doing. So, they will see me with the envelopes. Makikita nila yon. They will see me say, pag meron yung isa, gusto namin ng steak. Tapos, they will see me say, okay, that's beyond our budget for this week. So, in those ways, they're learning by seeing you while you're doing. Instead na just teaching, the greatest lesson really is when they see you. When they see me talk about what stock I like, they get interested. Kasi kung gusto lang natin yun i-download sa kanila, pero di naman natin ginagawa, hindi rin magsistick with them. It's going to sound like an empty sermon. No? We always do, ang ginagawa ko, at dinner, we start conversations. Laging ganun. What do you know about inflation? Ano sa tingin mo yung effect nun dun sa iniipon mo sa wallet mo? So yung mga small conversations na yan has become natural in our house. That's why and they have fun kasi when they hear about it sa class nila, alam na nila kung anong sasagutin. So they feel so smart. All the more they get excited. So ang suggestion ko siguro para dun sa mga bata, don't overwhelm them with information. Use analogies. Kunwari, pagdating sa inflation, yung isang conversation namin, sabi ko, oy, yung galunggong, magkano na ngayon? Tapos tanong ni Blue, magkano yan ba nanay nung bata ka pa? Tapos sinabi ko, di ba, nung unang panahon, 40 pesos. Ngayon, 150 na. Tapos sabi niya, grabe inflation. So, nakikita mo talaga na na-absorb nila because it's part of our daily discussion. Kasama na dyan yung pagboboto sa tamang, leader para yung inflation di masyadong umakyat kasi they care about the people at the bottom. Kami, may kanya-kanyang filosofiya sa bahay, pero I think those daily conversations help a lot. We use object lessons a lot. So when they ask me, Nanay, ano ba yung stock market? You know what I used to teach them? Mentos. Ayan. So sabi ko, okay, etong bawat isang Mentos dito, that's a stock. Tapos umiikot-ikot yan kasi people buy and sell. Ganon. So we have a lot of those conversations and we try to do it in a way na hindi nakaka-nosebleed sa mga bata.
Nice. Salamat po. Basically po, kung tama pagkakaintindi ko rin, parang yung teaching ninyo sa mga anak ninyo, parang way of life siya. Ibig sabihin, part siya ng daily conversations ninyo. Hindi naman kailangan laging, tara, mag-upo tayo at magkwentuhan tungkol sa pera. Salamat po. Meron pong question po dito kay si Brother Percy. Actually, he's also serving as a bishop ngayon. And he's one of our frontliners kasi he's a doctor. Kaya salamat po ng marami, Bishop. Instead na basahin ko, pwede pong kayo na pong magtanong, Bishop.
Sige po. Salamat po sa inyong serbisyo. Grabe, hirap po ng trabaho ninyo.
Actually, I've heard you before na when I was in Quezon City about you're true, yung sa scam before sa when I was in Manila. But my question is, ano po yung basis natin how to compute yung emergency fund?
Yeah.
Diba, my family, I have wife, I have son. So how do you compute for the emergency fund?
Dati po, ang ginagawa namin, kung gainfully employed ka, you should be able to feed your family for 3 months kahit na wala kang income. So what does that mean? Magkano yung total budget na kailangan to survive for a month times 3? Yun po yung emergency fund dati before the pandemic. Kung negosyante ka, we said times 6. Kasi ang thinking behind it is it takes 3 months for an ordinary individual to look for a job. So you need to have at least 3 months para habang nagtatrabaho ka, hindi ka nalulubog sa utang. Tapos kung negosyante ka naman, mahirap magnegosyo. Hindi agad-agad yan lumilipad. At minsan, pagka mahina yung takbo ng negosyo, it might take you 6 months before you actually correct things. But the pandemic, Bishop, 18 months na tayo mahigit eh. So what we've told our mentees is 1 year. Alam ko medyo mabigat yon, 'di ba? So kunwari, 10,000 yung kailangan para, so the people survive for a month, you have to have 120,000 na emergency fund. And that money, hindi yun dapat naka-invest. Dapat nasa deposit account lang yun. Kasi pag naka-invest siya, tapos nagka-emergency ka, tapos yung market hindi pa nakaka-recover, mapipilitan kang maglabas ng palugi. Diba? So, to be safe, kailangan either nasa money market fund, time deposit, or kaya nasa deposit account lang. That's our number 2 step na requirement namin. Yung number 1 step, Bishop, get out of consumer debt. Hindi kasama dito yung home loan, hindi kasama yung car loan, because those things actually increase your net worth, di ba? They become your assets once you're done paying. Ibig sabihin, pagka natapos ka magbayad dun sa utang sa bahay, may bahay ka na. So it's not a bad kind of utang, no? Pero kung ang utang natin ay 5-6 o kaya credit card, hindi po, ang unang-unang gagawin, bayaran mo na yun kasi ang laki ng interest. Para tayong ginigisa sa sariling mantika. Pagka lahat ng, kung napapansin niyo, pag may ganong klaseng utang, halos lahat ng kinikita natin napupunta sa pambayad sa interest, di ba? So, bayad muna ng utang, build your emergency fund, buy your medical and life insurance, and then start investing for the future. Yun po yung 4 steps. Nabilang ko ba? 4 na steps natin na emergency fund lang yung tinatanong ni Bishop pero nakarating na ako sa mga 4. Na-excite ako, Bishop, sa tanong mo eh. Napakaganda kasi.
About sa savings, so pag may savings ka, is it encouraged na ilagay lahat sa stock market?
Hindi po. So yun nga, sinasabi ko po, emergency fund, hindi po yun dapat nakasi-stocks. So, baka po yung sinasabi ninyo, no, on top of the emergency funds, kung may extra po kayo, hindi po dapat lahat nasa stock market kasi kailangan diversified tayo. Ano po ibig sabihin ng diversified? Nakalagay siya sa iba-ibang bucket. Para kung yung isang bucket hindi siya kumikita ngayon, at least yung ibang buckets may income. Diba? So pag nakalagay siya sa iba-ibang buckets, the overall risk goes down. May computation po kami niyan as a financial advisor. We can tell you if your risk is very high. So the pinaka-risky po na investment ay yung investment na nasa iisang bagay lang. Kunwari, ang pinakang investment mo lang ay yung negosyo. Risky po yun. Kasi pag namatay yung negosyo, wala na po lahat ng inipo natin, di ba? Katulad po nun, yung Kodak. Kung napansin niyo dati, sino po dito ang nakaabot pa nung yung camera na may film? Ako po kasi medyo majonda na. Kami po noon, ayan si Cliff, ang mahal, di ba? Tapos magpapadevelop ka, paano kung puro madilim o kaya puro puti, sira lahat. Pero lakas ng negosyo ng Kodak noon. Nung dumating po yung digital, namatay sila. If that happens to you, where your entire business, your entire ipon is in the business, delikado. Or in your practice as a doctor, delikado. So even as a doctor, you have to diversify. Your practice, that's one of your investments. Put some in the stock market. You can put some in the bond market for some safety. And then you can put some in real estate. So may konting properties here and there. You can even put some in what is called the real estate investment trusts. Para po yung real estate investment pero stocks. Parang pinagsamang real estate and stocks. Pwede kayo mag-mutual funds or pooled funds. So all of those things, they are available for everybody. Ang minimum investment po sa ibang mutual funds, 1,000 lang. Mas mahal pa po yung iPhone. or yung ibang telepono, yung minimum investment, I think, in Jollibee is lower. Jollibee as a stock, no? Hindi as a franchise. Minimum investment in Jollibee is much lower than a Samsung. So, yun. Pwede na po tayong mag-invest kahit paunti-unti lang.
Thank you.
Alright, meron tayong question nasa chat box. Should I read it na po?
Sige po.
Alright, this is from Clifford, ang aking brother-in-law. Alam na natin yung nangyari ngayon na hindi kaaya-aya sa PhilHealth. Ang tanong niya ngayon good option pa rin ba to pay ng ating mga PhilHealth? Ba kayo na pwede
as a government agency, this is a measured answer, ano? Kung ang habol natin is yung ating benefits as a PhilHealth member, wala po yatang politiko na papayag na hindi magbayad sa atin. Ang hindi po nababayaran yung mga ospital. Yun po yun. Pero kayo po, kunwari, wag naman sana, meron magka-COVID, kung government hospital po yung inyong pupuntahan or di kaya government quarantine facility, halos wala pong binabayaran. Di ba tama, Doc? Pero kung private hospital, yung iba, meron po akong kilala, 2 million, 2.4. Meron pong isa, sobrang lakas ng, dami ng complications, Doc. 19M ang kanilang bill, and she passed away. Hirap, no? So, I think it's still good for you to pay your PhilHealth dues just to make sure na if you need the services of a government hospital, meron kayong benefits. Or kahit na sa private hospital, mababawas yung PhilHealth benefits ninyo dun sa total bill. Correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, pero yun ang pagkakaintindi ko. So, meron naman kasing tinatawag na PhilHealth, iba-iba, di ba? Yung depende sa case. Ay iba-iba din yung benefits niyan. Pero I still want everyone to pay the same with SSS and GSIS kung government employee. Kasi marami pa din po kayong makukuhang benefits doon. PhilHealth will help, but you still need additional coverage. Yung BULs, they are life insurance. They're not for medical insurance unless meron kang rider, Cliff. Kunwari, bumili ka ng life insurance na 1 million yung cover, makukuha yung 1 million pag namatay ka. So, hindi mo na yun, Cliff, ma-enjoy. Yung maiiwan yan. Para na yan sa education na iyong mga anak. Meron siyang health rider na that will cover you for another 1 million, kunwari, sakali magka-stroke ka and all other dreaded diseases. Pero one time, big time lang yun. Pag nagamit mo na yung rider na yun, wala ka ng additional coverage. That's the difference between a rider, health rider in an insurance policy, and a separate medical insurance. So, a separate medical insurance can cover you up to 100 million if you have the money to pay for the dues, no? Or up to 2M, up to 10M, ganyan. Depende. At meron ding mga HMOs na tinatawag, those cards that you can use when you go to the hospital. They will cover you. I think the biggest one is up to 500,000. For some people, meron ding mga prepaid HMOs na kino-cover ka for 5,000, for 10,000, ganun. Marami na po ngayong mga financial instruments that can help para hindi tayo mahirapan pag nagkasakit.
Salamat po. Kagabi lang, nagkwento kami ng asawa ko, pag namatay daw ako, meron siyang pang-move on.
Hello!
Pero meron pong isang question dito tungkol din sa investment and all. Pero bago yan, let's proceed muna dito sa isang light lang na question na to, pero napaka-importante. This is coming from a youth na high school student. Diba? Siyempre, naintindihan niya na okay, kailangan pala involve ako sa family matters. Pero bilang high school student na dependent sa parents, ano yung pwede kong iambag sa financial matter?
Nice. That's such a nice question. Ako, gustong-gusto ko yung mga kabataan na rumaraket na. So, little businesses, I've seen a lot of young people as early as elementary na na medyo may pagka-entrepreneur. Ako po, elementary, para lang makwento ko, no? Elementary, hindi, high school naman. High school, ayoko pong nahirapan nanay ko. Spoiled po yung nanay ko sa akin eh. So, naawa ako na humihingi ako ng baon. Alam ko nga na mahirap lang kami. So, sabi ko sa kanya, give me 20 pesos and I'll never ask baon from you anymore. Pumunta ako ng palengke, namili ako ng mani, yung hilaw, maning hilaw, ano yun? Iodized salt, mantika, at saka bawang. Pag-uwi ko ng bahay, nakigamit ako sa kalan namin. Siyempre, kapital niya yun, pero ako yung... So, niluto ko yun. Araw-araw po, pag-uwi ko galing sa school, nagluluto ako ng mani, tapos gasera lang yung ginagamit ko, plastic, di ba? Gasera. Kinaumagahan, ibibenta ko yun sa class. Kasi yung mga kaklase ko na inaantok, papakainin ng mani, hindi na sila antokin sa klase. So yun, tagpipiso, ganyan. Di may kita na ako. Babalik sa akin yung kapital, tapos yung kita ko, pwede ko na yun pang baon. Hindi na ako hingi sa kanya. Diba? Yun ang ambag ko. Minsan, medyo malakas ang kita, iniipon ko. Or, kung meron akong kaklase na mabubudol ko at ililibre ako, mas malakas yung kita ko, di ba? Kailangan lang may konting pa-cute tayo para may nanlilibre. Joke lang. Pero minsan ako naman nanlilibre sa kanila. Anyway, yun lang. So, have your own little business. Di ba? Or maybe you can ask in the house kung may capability si nanay tsaka si tatay. Gawa ka ng isang chore sa bahay. Can you pay me to do this? Ako dati, iscan nyo yung mga dokumento ko, babayaran ko kayo kasi dami kong documents na kailangan iscan. Capital mo na yon. Then have your own little business. And that money that you save, or you can save it for another business para mas malaki yung kikitain mo. That's a very good question.
Thank you, ma'am. Meron pong one question po dito na nasa chat box, ma'am. Kung gusto nyo, ikaw na magbasa yung galing kayo. Ako lang ang
okay.
Galing yan sa Facebook kasi we're also live sa Facebook.
Okay. You can also share. Okay. I bought small shares in PLDT. Yes. Ano pa po stock ma-advise na bilhin for long term? Okay, that's very good. If you're young pa, mahaba pa yung runway mo before retirement, you can still just buy blue chip stocks. Lalo na ngayon, so in the market, there are around 30 stocks that are considered blue chip stocks. Tingnan mo yung mga kumpanya na yon, tingnan mo kung alin yung mababa ang presyo ngayon based on their value. Okay, so this is where it gets a little tricky. Lahat po ng mga analyst yan ang ginagawa nila araw-araw. Tingnan yung presyo ng stock ngayon compare dun sa future value ng company. Tapos dun mo malalaman kung mura siya o mahal. Right now, the whole market is cheap. We are 10 times earnings. Chances are, many of the blue chip companies are cheap pa. Pero, mamili ka doon ng mga companies na naiintindihan mo yung negosyo nila. Right? Because if you don't understand the business, and remember that these prices can go up and they can go down. They can go up and they can go down. You make money when you buy while they are down and sell while they are up. Pero aaminin ko na sa inyo, karamihan ng investors sa stock market, ang ginagawa nila, nabubudol sila pag mataas na yung presyo. Napapabili sila ng stock kasi sinasabi ng mga tao, "Oy, grabe, ang galing yung stock nito." So nabili nila ng mahal. Tapos pag bumagsak, kinakabahan na sila. Nagbebenta sila ng bagsak. So baliktad. Kaya yun po ang nangyayari. Pag invest lang ng invest, bili ng bili, nang hindi mo na inaaral or hindi pa naiintindihan kung ano yon. Pero if you study first, you understand the company, you understand the product, and you know your time horizon. So 20 years, kailangan ko to in 20 years. hindi tayo matarantang magbenta kapag ang stock ay bumabagsak. In fact, ako ang tinuturo ko, you love this company, you understand it. Pag bumagsak, edi bumili ka ulit. Kasi on sale siya. Mura. Instead na magbenta ka, bumili ka pa. This is, if you study, Google is everybody's friend. You look for value investing. That's my personal style. Some people, they have different styles. Growth investing, momentum, merong technical, ang technical analysis ang hinahabol. Some people can make money from those different philosophies. Pero ako, I stick to the boring philosophy of value investing. Kasi hindi pumuputi yung buhok ko dun. Hindi ako kinakabahan masyado. Nahayaan ko lang siya. So that's the question. Ano pa pong stock? Just go look for the blue chip stocks and look for the companies whose businesses you understand. And then my question po ako tungkol sa medical na insurance. Ano po ang magandang qualifications para sa medical insurance? Ay, ang ganda naman ng tanong niya. Okay. Some medical insurances will cover you only at a certain amount. 100, 200, $500,000. You have to know what you are covered for. Because, as I said, sabi nga ni Doc, napakamahal magkasakit. Kung bayad ka ng bayad, tapos 2 million yung bill mo, paano, saan mo kukunin yung 1.5? So, know what you are covered for. Hanap kayo ng medical insurance that will provide you with enough money for some of the most dreaded diseases. No? So, yan, coverage. Look for insurances na i-customize base sa budget ninyo. What you need and what you can afford. So, usually may mga may mga pwedeng deductible kung meron kayong insurance benefit somewhere, may HMO na kayo, i-deduct nila yung coverage no sa HMO para yung iba, kukunti na lang yung babayaran nyo kasi may deductible. Maghanap kayo ng insurance na ang insurance company ay hindi magkakasakit before you. Ang pinaka-horror story talaga dito, bumili tayo ng life insurance o kaya medical insurance, masakitin pa pala yung kumpanya kaysa sa atin, nauna palang mamatay. Yun ang horror story doon. So, when you buy from a company na alam nyong strong and reliable and may track record. Look for medical insurance that will provide you with the best network of hospitals and medical practitioners. Ayan, si Doc siguro will also tell you that because now one of the most difficult things is to find a hospital bed and to find doctors who can treat you. Ayan. So minsan, di ba, limited tayo dun sa kung sino lang ang accredited sa atin. Meron po mga medical insurances na hindi tayo limited dun sa doctors na member ng network lang. Any doctor pwedeng bayaran yung inyong hospital expenses.
Okay, I think we have yung last question, last na ito. What are your thoughts daw po on crypto investing?
Ayun. So, kung nakapunta kayo sa YouTube channel ko for the last 3 Saturdays, puro crypto, NFTs yung topic because there's a lot of interest on cryptocurrency. Number 1, do you understand it? And sometimes, the honest answer is, a lot of the people I know who are really smart don't even understand what crypto is. I don't put money in something I don't understand. Kasi, pag bumabagsak yung presyo, matataranta ka kasi hindi mo naintindihan eh. 'Di ba? Until I understand it, then I stay away from it. Pero at the moment, we have investment because we want to understand it. So fractional, konti lang para maintindihan natin. That's one of the things that I want to say. Now, if you feel na you've studied it, naintindihan mo that this is experimental, naintindihan mo all of the technical side of it, diba? The mining side, the risks, yung flow, tawag nito, yung chart. Okay? One of my friends bought Bitcoin at 200 Umakyat ng $200 per Bitcoin yung bili niya. Umakyat to $40,000 per Bitcoin. And last year, that $200, the value became $65,000. So it can get very, very volatile in the sense na para siyang to the moon ang akyat. Pero pag bumagsak din siya in one day, $20,000 in one day din yung bagsak niya. So if you want to invest in crypto, make sure that you can keep your nerves. Hindi kayo kakabahan pag nakita niyong nawala yung $20,000 niyo in a few moments. Right? Because if you can't handle the fear, you will lose money. You will buy from the top and sell at the bottom, and that's the end of it. That's permanent loss of capital you can never regain. So I would say crypto is for those who truly understand it. Maybe you can make a lot of money in it, but these are my requirements. You understand how it works. Hindi ka bibili niyan just because everybody's talking about it. Okay? You understand how it works. You have the temperament for volatility. Hindi ka kakabahan pag akyat baba. Number 2, you have to have the temperament para sa mga akyat baba niya. And number 3, you really believe that crypto is the future. If you are yes to all 3, then you should buy it. But if you are no to any of these, don't buy.
Magandang gabi po. Tama naman,
Magandang gabi.
do not invest in something that you don't understand.
Oh, di ba?
Kasi
Tama.
if you don't understand it, ang pinakamaganda doon, mag-research ka, magbasa ka para maintindihan mo siya, di ba?
Maraming salamat po. And last but not the least, kung gusto nyo pa ng marami pang contents mula kay Salve, puntahan nyo yung kanyang YouTube channel, Salve Says.